7 steps to a successful estate plan. Number 1, educate and communicate. Sometimes estate plans do not succeed because the generation that receives the money, they are not familiar with handling wealth. They don't know how to accumulate or allocate or necessitate. No, they don't know how to allocate. First of all, they don't know how to accumulate. Perhaps. Maybe they just received a lump sum of money and they don't know what to do with it. And communication, well, they need to communicate with their siblings to know what to do with it, how to spend it, where to put it, who to go to seek advice, financial advisors, CPAs, other accounting, bookkeepers. So if they've never had money, they could waste or squander it or spend it inappropriately. So the step to eliminate that is to parcel out the money a little more slowly than you might otherwise think. So we could put the money into a trust and then let the recipient, the beneficiary, receive the money a little at a time. So I might have to refine this point, but that's what I was trying to convey. If you need me, frankbrunolaw.com. 2. The first one was communication, right? That's a successful path. The second is anticipating family conflict. When both parents go, when they pass on, it could, well, fractured resentments, causes for concern, they percolate up when the last parent has passed away. So you have to understand that might be a new or a recently unearthed family dynamic, but you have to plan for it. Communication is the key, but you may also want to think about where you have siblings inheriting a piece of property, and they have different investment styles, different personalities, different strategies. Or even a business. They inherit a business together, and they have, conflicting ideas of how to run the business. Parents sometimes think, oh, I'll let the kids work it out. But that may not be the way to go. So this is the second step to a successful estate plan, is to anticipate potential family conflict and guard against it. Take the steps necessary in advance to ward off issues. That's it. That's number 2. The third thing that you can do is plan before gift giving. Giving gifts is frequently used as a strategy to pass your wealth on to the next generation. Before you just blindly write checks, you should have a plan. Why are you giving the money? When are you giving the money? What are you giving the money for? How are you giving the money? I ran out of W's. And if you give a gift of cash, right, check, dollars, is that a good plan? Do you want to give maybe stocks or bonds? Well, stocks. Would you want to give stocks that have appreciated? And at what value will you be giving them away at? What about if you gift property? Property is the type of asset that may last generationally. Cash can be spent, can be dissipated, mistakes can be made. You might hedge against that bet if you give property or a piece of property. So that's the third thing to do. Plan before you give and utilize gift giving as part of your estate plan. The fourth step to a successful estate plan is to know for the person themselves, not for me as the attorney. For me as the attorney, I'm there to help you, to guide you, to assist you. But from your perspective, the client's perspective, the fourth step is to know the basics of the plan. Understand what I'm suggesting for you. Engage with me. Ask me questions. Test out the waters. Right? Now, in estate planning and in the give and take of attorney-client relationship, I don't just impose a plan on you. The plan that I suggest is one that fits your needs, your desires, your interests, your inclination, what you want to do, who you want to give to. But it might utilize gift giving. It might utilize giving away percentages or specific bequests of certain items to one person or group, other different specific gifts to someone else. It may include the use of a trust or two trusts, maybe a revocable living trust and an irrevocable living trust. You could keep certain assets inside of the revocable trust while maximizing the asset protection during life of the irrevocable trust, right? All sorts of things. So ask questions, understand the basics of your plan, engage with your lawyer. That's the fourth step to a successful estate plan. And number 5, organize, simplify, detail. What do I mean by that? Well, this is the steps to a success. These are the steps to a successful estate plan. So while you're alive, make it easy for your executor. Make it easy for distribution. Simplify, organize, detail, write things down. I own a piece of property in Queens. I own a piece of property in Brooklyn. I own land in Saratoga. I have Vanguard, Oppenheimer, Jones Smith Brokerage Company. I have ABC and XYZ. I have this and that. Make it easy for the executor. Sometimes expense and delay for an estate, if you're probating, if you have to disperse assets, sometimes it's really quite a chore for the executor or trustee to wrestle all of your assets. And I hope you have a lot of assets. I hope you have, the more the merrier. The more, the richer your family, the better for your legacy, the more you can give and contribute. But also, let's help them. That was the 5th step. Organize, simplify, detail. Getting to the home stretch. 7 steps to a successful estate plan. And we may or may not know, but these 7 steps, they're good. They are a good guideline, but the numbers are arbitrary. I could have said 9 steps, 15 steps, 22 steps, right? And then I would have broken it down. And certainly these 7 steps, they put you in the right position, right? Forward thinking, but they're not all encompassing. So today is the 6th step. If you are a business owner, have a succession plan. Right? Most small businesses, entrepreneurs, don't have a succession plan in place, and most businesses don't last into the next generation. So without a succession plan, if the business owner doesn't say who she wants to run it, Should it be sold? Should it be run by a family member? Should it be run by a business partner, or maybe the chief of staff, or the vice president of operations, or whoever might be most familiar with the company? If there is no succession plan, well, it undermines the value of the business, and businesses without a succession plan, their values are deflated. So think ahead. Who can operate the business? Who wants to operate the business? Let's say you have a business, in the trades, carpentry, plumbing, electrician, right? Something like that. Well, do you have children that are accountants and insurance brokers and in the medical field? Do they want to run that business? Well, maybe you should sell it to someone that's inside of the business. What about if, it's just not a good fit? It's a restaurant and you have children that are in occupations already they don't want to run it. So that's the thing to think about. Is there anything else I want to say? So just the other thing in terms of a business plan, you want to make sure that your accounting is up to date and your business hierarchy is up to date. That facilitates a sale. The 7 steps to a successful estate plan. Just giving you some knowledge, some information, 7 steps to make your plan successful. Number 7, fund, F-U-N-D, fund your revocable living trust. A revocable living trust is a device, a legal technique, a strategy to avoid probate and to have a plan in place. If you don't fund the trust, it's rendered moot. There's no plan to act upon because the fund doesn't have, not the fund, the trust was not properly funded, right? So that's the takeaway. Properly fund your trust. This way, your estate plan can be successful. Let me see if there's anything else I want to say as I end this series. So a living trust has no legal impact, weight, force, or effect if it does not have the legal title to the assets that you want to take some action upon, right? So I have a bank account and I want to put it inside of my trust. And then at some future point, I want the money that's in the bank account to be distributed 2 ways or 3 ways or to go wherever. If the trust doesn't have that asset, the plan that you put in place can never take effect. So if you need to speak to me about making your estate plan successful, reach out, frankbrunolaw.com. And for the next 10 people that call, I'll be extra nice.